Wayne Kelley. Please vote for him. Good luck.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Hello. My name is Wade Kelley, and I'm running for Santa Monica City Council. I want to stand up for human rights.
Yes.
Right here in Santa Monica.
Yes.
Well, look who we have here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Say hello.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Oh, boy.
Thank you, Ethan Hyatt. I didn't see you here.
Oh, yeah.
How are you doing today? Yeah? We got a lot of fog today. It's a kind of a foggy day in Santa Monica town.
Not in LA, is it?
Not in LA?
Was it foggy in Hollywood? No.
Let me see. See if I can get this thing to stand still.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, no.
All right. Playing with the new tripod still. Stay. No. Stay.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. There's something that I'm not doing right with this.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a button that you can press to, like, choose?
Okay, follow me. Wait a minute. Okay. Now stay. Aye, aye, aye. I'm going to have to turn this computer off. And do it manually. I'll figure out how to use this thing after the election's over, maybe.
Huh?
Anything else you want to say to these people?
Oh,
Anything new going on?
no, it's just Trump looks like he's about ready to collapse.
Well, I hope you're right.
No, I mean, physically.
Oh,
Yeah, he's kind of deteriorating mentally.
Well,
Yeah, so.
well, I don't wish anybody ill, but
It's just
as long as he's not elected, then
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
fine.
No, he's not going to be elected with that.
Yeah. So, my name is Wade Kelley. I'm running for Santa Monica City Council. I want to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. And we need some people to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica because they criminalize sleeping bags and bedrolls for human beings, for homeless human beings here in Santa Monica. And that's not the way to end this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis. We can do better. We got to keep working for a better world for everybody, a better day for everybody, especially right here in this richest, most powerful country. Good to see you. Tell me your name.
Kincaid.
Kincaid. Oh, well, I don't recognize you. Come say hi to my audience here. Kincaid took a picture of me on the street with my sleeping bag because they criminalize sleeping bags and bedrolls in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
I know you.
Met you on the corner.
Yes.
Hi, yeah.
Good to see you. What's your name?
Calvin.
Calvin. Nice to meet you. And what's your name?
Jaden.
Jaden. Good to meet you. Daniel. And
Vote
Shane?
Wade Kelley.
go ahead. Say hi. Go ahead. Say hi. You guys these are
Vote Wade Kelley.
Yeah.
These are Santa Monica High School guys.
Real change.
And
Yeah.
that's right. And,
Wade Kelley.
and zero money in my campaign. And not like these other people who have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why are they spending so much on that? Why are they spending so much on a city council race? It's because they want to control, the businesses are trying to control this city. And we need to stand up for human rights.
Shout out Freak Bob and John Ford.
Who?
John Ford?
John Ford?
Yeah.
Who's John Ford? Oh, he's a politician where?
John Ford. Culver City.
Culver City? Okay. What's he doing?
Say similar things. John Port.
Okay, I'll have to look him up. But he's standing up for human rights over there?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's what I hope you guys do. And because we haven't reached it yet. We haven't reached equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity yet here in this country. And especially in cities like Santa Monica, where we're 70% white because we push a lot of the poor people out. And when you push out a lot of poor people, you're going to push out people of color. And we need to keep, that's why we need to keep integrating our society. And we got to keep integrating our coast, because we have 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people live next to those public beaches. I'm sorry, I don't like to bring race up, but we haven't gotten there yet. Thank you, peace. You guys have a great night. And let's vote for Kamala Harris. She's going to work for a better day. Let's put a woman in the White House. Kamala Harris is her name. Let's put a woman in the White House. We don't need more of the same. She'll stand up for equal rights for you and me. And she'll stand up for our democracy. So let's put a woman in the White House. Kamala Harris, 2024. Yeah. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day for everybody, because there are a lot of people who don't want to work in that direction. They want to push the poor down the road. They want to push all the poor people from the coast into the desert. And you know, we're in the middle of we're in a climate crisis. And so we're going to have more people live next to the coast. If it keeps getting hotter, as many scientists predict, we're going to have more people living next to the coast, because it's a more temperate climate. And it's going to have better air quality, they say, than the valleys and stuff. And right now we can see with this fog cover here in Santa Monica, today it was 105 in much of the inland, much of the valley and places like that. And over here, it was maybe hit 70 degrees in Santa Monica. And so, you know, we have to make sure that more people can enjoy that, especially if we're going to save energy in this country, if we're serious about saving energy. But Santa Monica is not that serious about saving energy, I guess, because not only are they criminalizing homeless people, they're criminalizing sleeping bags and bedrolls for homeless people here in Santa Monica, but they're also promoting Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, that black market Ponzi scheme, cryptocurrency, it uses more energy than the country of the Netherlands. That's right. This cryptocurrency that people are making money off of poor people, that cryptocurrency uses more energy than the country of the Netherlands. So that's the last thing we need, is another way for people to be poor and use a lot more energy. We need things that aren't trying to make a profit off of every poor person there is. We need people who want to lift up those that are in poverty and make sure they can have a better life, instead of criminalizing poverty the way many of these people are trying to do. We got rid of that in the last century. You know, in 1972, the Supreme Court said that vagrancy laws were unconstitutional. That's right, vagrancy laws are what many cities around the United States had in the 1900s. If you were poor and you didn't have a job and you didn't have any money on you, they could just put you in jail. That's right. They'd put you in jail. Sometimes they'd make you work off the jail time or whatever. But those laws were found to be unconstitutional in 1972 by the Supreme Court. And people are just trying to bring back these poverty laws, these laws criminalizing poverty. They're just trying to bring them back all over the United States now, and that's why the Santa Monica City Council criminalized sleeping bags and bedrolls. You know, earlier this summer, the Supreme Court handed down a ruling called Grants Pass versus Johnson. In this ruling, they said, well, we can't figure out all the complexities of homelessness, so we're going to let cities decide whether they want to criminalize homelessness or not. And now, cities all around the West are criminalizing homelessness. Some places are even putting people in jail because they are publicly camping. And then they process them and put them back out on the streets, and they say, don't go back there for 30 days. But they're not solving the problem. They're just making it harder for poor human beings to survive. And that goes against what we want to accomplish in this country. We're working towards making things better for human beings, not trying to make things harder and worse. We're working towards a more perfect union, domestic tranquility, the general welfare. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. And that means we don't want to criminalize poverty. And that's exactly what that Grants Pass versus Johnson law does. It helps cities criminalize poverty. In her dissent of that Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling, Justice Sotomayor said, to keep people from sleeping is cruel and unusual punishment and goes against the 8th Amendment of our Constitution. So who are we going to follow, Santa Monica? Are we going to follow Trump's ultra-conservative Supreme Court in their Grants Pass versus Johnson ruling and criminalize sleeping bags and bedrolls the way Phil Brock and Oscar de la Torre have done? Or are we going to follow Justice Sotomayor, who said to keep people from sleeping is cruel and unusual punishment? Are we going to follow her and stand up for human rights, Santa Monica? We need to work towards solutions, and we need to build more affordable housing. And we are way behind in that, and we need to get to working at it. And Kamala Harris wants to build 3 million units of housing in her first term in office. And I think that's fantastic. I know it's ambitious, but I think it's wonderful. And every state, every city needs to get behind her. So how many units of affordable housing are we going to build here, Santa Monica, in Kamala Harris's first term? How many units of housing are we going to build to help her build 3 million units of housing in her first term and end this housing crisis? Let's put a woman in the White House. Kamala Harris is her name. Let's put a woman in the White House. We don't need more of the same. She'll stand up for equal rights for you and me. And she'll stand up for our democracy. So let's put a woman in the White House. Kamala Harris, 2024. Kamala Harris, 2024. And she's already talking about doing some other great things. She wants to raise taxes on the rich. She wants to raise the corporate tax to 28% and the billionaire tax to 25%. I sure hope they put in a wealth tax. I hope they raise taxes on these rich people, so on the wealth that they have, because they're all trying to get away without paying any taxes. That's why some of these CEOs don't even take a salary. They just borrow money they borrow money to live, and then they take money on the side so they don't have to pay income tax. So we need to find different ways. If these rich people are going to find ways to get out of paying taxes, we need to find more ways to make sure that they pay their fair share. And Kamala Harris wants to raise taxes on the rich. We need to raise taxes on the rich, 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 raise taxes on the rich. Oh, I know it's a simple song, but it's a good one. And one that we need to teach our leaders, our public servants. That's right. They need to raise those taxes, because if we have rich people having space races in the United States while poor people are sleeping in the streets, we have to change our business model. We got to change the way things are working. You know that Trump wouldn't raise taxes on the rich. He wants to get all of his rich buddies as rich as they can get. Throw the poor people out in the street and say, blah, yeah. That's right. And the main thing about that guy, besides being a lover of the rich and being rich himself, he doesn't believe in democracy. He wants to make it harder for poor people to be part of our democracy. He doesn't want them to have a voice. Just like here in Santa Monica, Phil Brock said to me, he said, these people living on our streets are not our residents. I said, how do you figure that? They've been living on your streets for years, some of these people, some of them decades. And he said, well, they come from somewhere else. Most people in Santa Monica come from somewhere else, even if they are living in apartments or a house. They all moved here from somewhere else. Very few people have been born in Santa Monica. And even those people that are born in Santa Monica, like you, Phil Brock, that doesn't give you more rights than somebody who is a resident of Santa Monica. So I would like to tell all my friends that are living on the streets of Santa Monica, please register to vote. Get your address with People Concerned, or get your address with Step Up on Second, where I get my mail, where I have my address. And register to vote, because we need to speak out and say, listen, poor people and homeless people have just as much rights as the richest person in the whole wide world. That's right. I like to remind people who are on this public promenade. That's right, we're on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. It is a public promenade. It's like a 3-block long boulevard without any traffic, and there are shops alongside. But it's not a shopping mall, a private shopping mall. It's not Rodeo Drive or the Grove. Those are private places. This is a public promenade, and I like to remind the homeless human beings on this public promenade, if you are homeless and you are on this public promenade, you have the same rights as the richest person in the whole wide world. That's right. Even though they lock up these chairs over here, let me show you these chairs. See those chairs over there? They lock them up, and they purposely lock them. They purposely lock them so that nobody can sit on them. They're not just locking those chairs up to keep people from stealing them. They stack them on top of each other so nobody can sit on them during the night, because they don't want homeless people to get comfortable. They don't want to make it easier for them to survive during this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis. And that's what it is, you know. Here in California especially, as well as other parts of this country, we're having a housing crisis. We haven't built enough affordable housing. For too long, too many people have been saying, you can't build affordable housing in our neighborhood because it'll bring down our property values. And everybody knows that California's property values are way overpriced. There's no reason for it. It's just a matter of greed. We could end this housing crisis tomorrow. with all of the empty buildings here in Santa Monica and around California, we could make sure that everybody had a decent place to live. It's just a matter of greed. That's right. And we need to stand up against such greed and tell our leaders, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich, raise taxes on the rich. You know, I met with the city manager yesterday. Thank you, David White, city manager here in Santa Monica. I met with him and we talked about some of the things that were important to him and some of the things that I wanted to know about. I wanted to know about shelter beds, and we don't have enough shelter beds here in Santa Monica to shelter everybody tonight. I did ask him to give me some sort of link. He seems to think it's easy for these people to get into some shelter somewhere in Santa Monica. I asked him to send me a link. Hopefully he will send me a link to, because I did ask people on Step Up on Second and Over Up People Concern one time, hey, can I get a shelter bed tonight? There ain't no shelter beds in Santa Monica. You can go, you call someplace and they'll send you over to someplace in the middle of downtown near Skid Row, but over there, you don't know if the bed's available or not. And it's a lot of people here to get over there. That's very difficult. And some people are sleeping in the buses, going back and forth between downtown LA and here. And then some people stay here at night on the promenade because it's kind of safe, but they have to get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning because things start happening on the promenade, cleaning and such. I mean, that's a hard enough life, but if they criminalize sleeping bags and bedrolls on top of that, I don't care if you're going to enforce it or not. And that's what they said. Oscar De La Torre came by last week and he said to me, well, we're not going to enforce that law. And I was like, well, why would you pass a law criminalizing sleeping bags and bedrolls unless you were going to enforce it? Why would you vote for it if you didn't, even if you thought they weren't going to enforce it? Are you just trying to placate and appease these hate mongers, these fear mongers that want to look down on and vilify and criminalize these homeless people? Look, you're using a sleeping bag. You can't do that. You got to move on down the road. I'll call the police. We're going to see some of that here in Santa Monica. And they already have so many silly laws on their books. No sitting, no lying law. They use that once in a while to scare off people. And I've seen police officers and others harass people here, homeless people on this promenade. And we need to stand up for their rights. If you stand up for the rights of a homeless human being, you are standing up for your own rights, because you never know. It could happen to you. But besides that, we're standing up for equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity, and we need to keep working towards that. And that's what Kamala Harris wants to do. She wants to keep working towards a better day for everybody. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. Let's put a woman in the White House. Kamala Harris is her name. Let's put a woman in the White House. We don't need more of the same. She'll stand up for equal rights for you and me. And she'll stand up for our democracy. So let's put a woman in the White House. Kamala Harris, 2024. Good to see you again. How you doing tonight? Remind me your name, please. Chris, good to see you. Christian? Chris. I met a guy named Christian the other night. He looked kind of like you. Had a beard and everything, too. Chris, how are things going for you, Chris?
Good, yeah. Surprised to see you here.
Yeah, it is a little. I disappeared. I took off for about a month to spend some time with my mom this past summer. And then I've been back ever since then. I've been back a lot because I'm running for Santa Monica City Council, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. That's my name. That's my name, Wade.
When did when's the vote?
The vote is November 5th.
Oh, so we're with the president.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Same day as that we vote for president and senator and many other things. I'm on the ballot for Santa Monica City Council. And if you're watching and you want to go, please go to my website on Facebook. It's Wade Kelley for Santa Monica City Council 2024. I'm doing live streaming from there also. And I want to make as much noise as I can. I have a campaign that has $0, zero. And I'm up against people that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on campaigns in this city for city council. And so whatever you can do to help me get the word out, because I know most people in Santa Monica, even rich people in Santa Monica, I believe we have some progressives here that believe in human rights and don't want to see us going down the road of trying to criminalize our way out of this homelessness crisis. And if you're just trying to pick on the poor and the homeless, you got to be ashamed of yourself. You're cruel, inhumane. We need to move towards a better day for everybody. And some people, everybody has a story. Well, this homeless guy, he threatened me, or this homeless guy, I thought he was all right, but then he kicked toward me or something. Everybody's got a story about some homeless guy. And the thing is, there are people that need help that have mental disabilities. But people with mental disabilities and people with substance abuse disorders have the same rights as you and I. And if somebody is harassing, they need to be told that they can't do that. If somebody is threatening, they need to be stopped. But most of these homeless people just want to be left alone and have a decent place to live and be able to survive in this very sometimes beautiful, sometimes very hard city of Santa Monica. I mean, these people, all these people talking about safety here in Santa Monica. Oh, it's a crime-ridden place. I guess there are some crimes that happen. There aren't any crimes going on tonight, and most of the homeless people I know are very good people, just looking for a place to live, just looking to get by until they can find some housing. And some people just want to live outdoors, and that ought to be an option too for a small percentage of people. But we have 1% of our population here in Santa Monica that are living on the streets and that could use and would like housing. And we have to take responsibility for those people, because Santa Monica, since 1970, in 1970, the population of Santa Monica was 88,000. Today, the population of Santa Monica is just over 90,000. Some people say 92. Okay, anywhere in between there. Santa Monica has grown by a few thousand, while the rest of California grew by 20 million. So Santa Monica, you've been dragging your feet about building any housing, let alone affordable housing, for the last 54 years. And now you're supposed to be building 6,150 units of housing between now and 2029. I spoke with David White yesterday. He said they're not going to make that. They're not going to make near that number of affordable housing units because there's not enough funding for affordable housing units here in California or here in Santa Monica. Sure, the rich people want to build rich people housing here in Santa Monica and make a nice, pretty profit, but we got to change the way we think about housing. We got to stop thinking of every every unit of housing as a place to make a lot of money. We got to start thinking about units of housing as places for people to survive and live. That's why I say we need to keep raising taxes here in Santa Monica on hotels, motels, Airbnb, whatever may be, whatever there are, because there's a lot of empty buildings, and raise taxes on vacant properties that are left vacant. Raise taxes on those until we end this housing crisis. And I'm talking about all of California, but I'm running for Santa Monica City Council right here. And instead of, it wouldn't be so bad if they weren't building enough housing, if they didn't try to criminalize homeless people for being poor. Because it's been generations of bad government and bad planning that have pushed the poor people out of Santa Monica and other places and pushed them into the streets. And that's why we have this housing crisis. Since 1978, Prop 13 made it easier for rich people to hold on to property and made it harder for poor people to get property. And then zoning laws getting rid of rooming houses and such. We need to move in another direction. We need to move in a direction that makes it easier for poor people to live in these cities. And we need to keep integrating. We need to find ways for all these people that work on this public promenade and all of the other stores in Santa Monica and all the police officers, or policemen, what do you call them? Police, not officers. Are they all officers? No. All of the police department and the fire department and the teachers, we need to make it easier for them to live in Santa Monica, because a large part of this workforce here in Santa Monica lives outside of Santa Monica. That makes for a bad democracy, and more jobs are going to little Coco over there and his type. See little Coco? More jobs are going to Coco, and less people are having jobs these days, and it's going to continue in that way. And we have to figure out a way for human beings to exist, even when more jobs go to artificial intelligence and to robots. Because all of these robots, they got a place to go tonight. Coco's got a place to go and get charged up and taken care of and cleaned off and put to bed for a little bit. And then we have human beings sleeping in the streets. All these driverless cars that are around here, they have a place to go and get cleaned up and charged up and everything. And we have human beings sleeping in the streets. All of these computers for mining your cryptocurrencies and all these computers with their AI and all of that, they have a place to go tonight and be cleaned up, and their circuits are all dusted off and everything's fine, room temperature, so as not to bother these computers. And human beings are sleeping in the streets. That ain't the way it should be. Not in the richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world. There's no reason for poor people to be sleeping in the streets. See the people living in the streets, bless you, ain't got no money, ain't much to eat. They're not too proud to take your crust of bread, just looking for some place to lay their weary heads. And we can help them. We can make sure that everybody who needs a place to live has one in this richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world. What's the problem that brought them here? The story's long and it isn't very clear. So many roads lead to the street, just looking for some place to lay their tired feet. That's right. They're looking for some place to lay their tired feet. And Phil Brock and Oscar de la Torre think that the answer to that is to criminalize sleeping bags and bedrolls. We need to vote them out. All these homeless people living in a ditch, with all these empty buildings and tax cuts for the rich. I ain't saying you have to give, but everybody has got a right to live, and they're just looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. That's right, peace. We got to keep working towards it. You know, back in 1937, they had a lot of people unhoused back in 1937, and they passed the Fair Housing Act. By 1939, they were building 500,000 units of housing all around this country, lifting generations of poor people out of poverty. And we need to do the same thing today. Kamala Harris wants to build 3 million units of housing. How are we going to help her, Santa Monica? How many units of housing are we going to build? Sweep them out your doorway, tear down their tents. Gonna keep on coming if you keep on raising rents. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting homeless people move into your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. That's right, Santa Monica. Starting in 2018, you've been talking about building 120 units right over here on 4th Street, where there used to be a parking structure, a dilapidated parking structure that needed $4 million in upkeep just to stay a parking structure. But instead, you started talking about maybe building a little affordable housing. And then all of these business owners on this public promenade, they sued the city. They said, we don't want any poor people housing next to our business. It's bad for business. We need to keep our businesses open. Well, now you got more homeless people living on your streets because you don't want to house them. And you want to blame them for your bad business. You want to blame them for the bad weather, or I don't know. You'll blame them for everything and you'll criminalize them. But Santa Monica, you've been fighting against building any affordable housing, and you need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Sweep them out your doorway, tear down their tents. Gonna keep on coming if you keep on raising rents. I ain't saying you have to do good, but why don't you try letting homeless people move into your neighborhood, Santa Monica? Looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere, looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. Don't need your swimming pool, don't need your king-size bed. Just looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads. Hey! That's right, they're looking for somewhere to lay their weary heads, and we can help them. Are you taking off? Good to see you, Mike. Thank you. You doing all right? Okay? Okay. Good to see you. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day for everybody. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine. Today, I'll be a rambler and I'll be a rover. You'll know who I am by the song that I sing. I'll feast at your table and sleep in your clover. I'll laugh and I'll cry and I'll sing. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows shall all pass away ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. Well, I hope you're all doing all right out there. Sending peace and love to everybody. We got to keep working towards peace all around the world. A million tomorrows shall all pass away ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. Today. That's right. It's like John Lewis said, do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, of a week, of a month, of a year. Our struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never ever be afraid to make some noise, to get in some good trouble, some necessary trouble. And he was talking about peaceful protest, of course, because that's what he did, and he suffered a lot because of it. And we need to keep peacefully protesting to make things better for everybody, and keep peacefully protesting to work towards peace all around the world. Keep working for human rights, keep working for everybody's right to exist and to live free, and keep moving towards a better day. It's about peace, it's about love, it's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love, it's about peace, it's about a little bit of love and peace at least. Cause when the peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace, it's about love, it's about hope, it's about joy, it's about bring some home to your little girls and boys. It's about joy, peace, it's about hope, it's about enough hope to keep them off the dope. Cause when the hope and the joy are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about joy, it's about hope, it's about you, it's about me, it's about you and me working towards equality. It's about me, it's about you, it's about saying Black Lives Matter too. Cause when you and me are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about you, it's about me. Se trata de paz, se trata de amor, se trata de paz y amor. Se trata de paz, se trata de amor, se trata de paz y amor. Se trata de paz y amor. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yay. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yay. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yay. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yay. Hevenu shalom alechem, Hevenu shalom alechem, Hevenu shalom alechem, Hevenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. It's about peace, it's about love, it's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love, it's about peace, it's about a little bit of love and peace at least. Cause when the peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace, it's about love, love, love. Oh, it's all about love. That's right. We got to keep working towards it. That's all I'm talking about, is spreading the love around a little better. We've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy in this country. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. We live in the land of milk and honey. There's no reason for poor people to be doing without. It's just greed. Greed. I don't want to break this thing. Thank you, my friend Michael Walsh, for getting me this tripod. Nobody else get me anything else, please. It takes me too long to figure them out. And I'm trying to figure out this running for Santa Monica City Council right now. It was under the cost of having to be reported. So I'll tell you that, and it was a gift, so. How you doing? So we need to keep working towards a better day for everybody. And I do hope you speak out and tell your friends that live in Santa Monica and vote in Santa Monica that I am running for Santa Monica City Council, and that I need their help to get the word out, because I don't have a big budget like those other people do. And I need to make sure that we can stand up for human rights. But that's going to take some talk. Well, that's very kind. Star. Thank you those of you who are saying nice things about me running for Santa Monica City Council. I can't see that well, so I can't answer all your questions right now, but when will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep waiting by and by for it to fall out of the sky, but we better work on peace on earth down here. You know, a lot of people have suggestions for how this homeless crisis, this housing crisis should be fixed. And a lot of people say, what's your solution, Wade? What are your solutions? I talk about setting aside land, city land that could be used to set up some temporary housing for people until we have enough permanent housing. I talk about using the airport land. You know, they have 227 acres that are going to be given over to the city of Santa Monica. It used to be, or it is right now, Santa Monica Airport, 227 acres. And some people, they voted to just have a big park there, and that was in 2014. But I think it would be irresponsible to not use any of that 227 acres to build some affordable housing when you're in a housing crisis, and when Santa Monica has done so little to help build affordable housing. And when you have so many of your workforce that live outside of your city, you could have communities that have people, first responders, teachers, healthcare professionals, and all sorts of people in one community with some homeless people, with some poor people, and make it a nice community there. You could set aside about 10 to 15% of that 220 acres. Let's say, okay, 25 acres you set aside to build property. That's a lot of land, folks. You could build a lot of housing on 25 acres of land. And then you're still going to have 200 acres for a nice big park. If you don't use any of that land for a park, let me rewind. If you don't use any of that land for housing, my question is, How many people are you going to hire to keep all the poor people from pitching a tent on your 227 acres or putting down a sleeping bag somewhere on the 227 acres of land? That's a lot of land to hide in, you know? You're going to have to hire a whole lot of people to make sure nobody has anything going on. And that's just cruel. It would be irresponsible and cruel for you not to use any of that land for affordable housing. And that's part of working towards peace, is making sure that everybody has some rights in this world. Everybody, especially here in the United States, working towards equal rights and making sure that people have enough to survive. Back in 1944, the great president Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave a speech called the Second Bill of Rights. In that speech, he said, it is time for a second Bill of Rights, where every American has the right to a decent place to live. Every American has the right to a job that pays a living wage. Every American has the right to health care. And every American has the right to a good education. Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave that speech in 1944, and we haven't reached those goals today. So we have to keep working towards it. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep looking for the day when the clouds all roll away, but we better work on peace on earth down here. That's right. We got to keep working on peace all around the world, and even right here in Santa Monica. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace arrive? We'll keep waiting by and by for it to fall out of the sky, but we better work on peace on earth to help our children survive. Peace, oh peace. Peace, let's stand up and work for peace. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep looking for nirvana, but I think we just might wanna work on peace on earth down here. Peace, oh peace. Peace, let's stand up and work for peace. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We can ask the universe to get rid of this war curse, but we better work on peace on earth. We better work on peace on earth. We better work on peace on earth down here. Woo! It's a little misty out here tonight. How you doing, peace? But we keep going. Keep making a better day for everybody. How you doing, Steve?
So-so.
So-so?
Well, that's, I get insulted for no reason.
Well,
Did that happen to you?
I'm sure it has.
I don't know why they do it.
I don't know why they do it either.
I don't go around insulting people.
No, I believe you. And I think that's a good habit to have, not to insult people.
Found some eyeglasses and some water.
That's good.
Yeah.
We don't need to take part in, just because other people are cruel, we don't have to take part in that.
We don't have to feed into the negativity.
When they go low, we go high. Right? Something like that. Kamala Harris says, speaking of leaders, she said that the strength of a leader is not measured by the people you beat down. The strength of a leader is measured by the people you lift up. So these leaders here in Santa Monica, Phil Brock and Oscar De La Torre, that are beating down on homeless people by criminalizing sleeping bags and bedrolls for homeless people, they're just being evil, cruel, and inhumane.
They don't understand homelessness.
They don't understand homelessness. Of course they don't.
Understand it.
And they're just trying to pick on poor people, and I don't like it. I hope you don't like bullies. I don't like bullies, and we need to stand up against bullies and
It takes
tell-
one to know one, right? Just because someone was a bully to you doesn't mean you have to become a bully.
That means you're right, Steve. Just because somebody's a bully to you doesn't mean you have to be a bully.
You know, Saddam Hussein,
We need to stop the cycle.
Remember Saddam Hussein?
Yeah,
He started out, he formed street gangs in Baghdad, and then he became the leader of Iraq.
that's right. We don't need leaders like that.
Hitler was-
We don't need leaders like Phil Brock and Oscar De La Torre. Because if you're beating down on the poor people, that means you're just a bully.
Some of the leaders...
And we don't want bullies in the White House. We don't want bullies in the city council, and we don't want bullies in the White House. We want Kamala Harris to help lift up the poor and the working poor and make things better for everybody here in the United States. And she believes in democracy, and she's working towards making things better for democracy, working towards equal rights, equal justice,
Have you
equal
ever heard of
opportunity.
this man?
Who?
Vicente Fox.
Yeah, I am.
Well, he was not a bully. What he did, he had a small ranch in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And he started accumulating land throughout Mexico and became the president of Mexico. That was years ago.
Okay.
Smart guy.
All right. I'm glad you like it. I don't know if
That was his name.
I know.
Vicente
I
Fox
remember. He was a president
of Mexico.
not too long ago.
He started out with a small ranch. And accumulated-
But right now we have Kamala Harris running for president here in the United States.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about, because she's working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity. And we need to keep moving in that direction, because we haven't gotten there yet. Let's do the Kamala Harris Waltz. Are you getting ready to take off,
Yep.
Ethan?
Yep.
You doing all right? Can I give you a little something?
Yeah, I need something.
Hey Bradley, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
How much do you need? How much do you want?
$5.
5? Okay, I can do that.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Everything else is all right?
Yes,
People treating you okay?
yes.
You guys want to say hi to the people?
Yes, hi people.
Right there. Ethan,
Hello everybody. Hello Ethan.
Ethan Hyatt, and Bradley over here, but
here.
they can't see you on
Oh.
there. I don't know if do you want to say hi?
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Bradley's doing all right today?
Yep.
Things are good?
Yep.
Good to hear. All right, I hope things keep getting better.
We're getting in the restroom, they shut it down.
They already shut down the restroom. They shut down the restroom here in Santa Monica
10 o'clock, yeah.
at 10 o'clock.
I know.
And then people get upset because homeless people urinate and defecate in the alleyways and other places.
No matter what they do, they
And it's,
They always complain about it.
they don't have any secure public restrooms here in Santa Monica.
They should.
And 1% of their population live in the streets. So you gotta figure out something, Santa Monica.
they do.
And Kamala Harris wants to work towards a better day. Let's do the Kamala Harris Waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Move forward for a better day for you and me. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. We are not going back. Let's stand for democracy. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Move forward for a better day for you and me. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. We are not going back. Let's stand for democracy. That's right. We don't need to go backwards. We don't need to criminalize poverty. We need to keep moving away from that. Keep moving forward for human rights. You know, already in the United States of America, we have the largest prison population in the whole world, the largest incarceration population in the whole world. We have to work towards a better education system, giving people a better start, and making sure that people have living wages here in the United States of America. A lot of people tell me these homeless people need to get a job. Well, these homeless people can't even find a place to go to the restroom in the middle of the night without being harassed. And I know homeless people that do have jobs and they still can't afford a place to live. I mean, how does that make any sense? A person who is struggling and having to work a full-time job and still not being able to afford a place to live, especially not here in Santa Monica. We need to stand up for the rights of people and help lift people out of this situation, because it's been brought on by generations of bad government, and we need to make sure that everybody can thrive and survive in this richest, most powerful country in the world. So let's keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity, health care for all, housing the homeless, common sense gun laws, making sure that everybody can have a decent place to live, not just the homeless, but make sure that everybody can stay in the housing that they have, and things can get better for everybody. We need to keep moving in that direction, because we've done a very good job of being kind to the greedy. We have to do a better job of being kind to the needy. And we need to work towards a better public education system and work towards common sense gun laws. We can do great things in this country. They have been done before. And Kamala Harris wants to move forward. She wants to build 3 million units of housing in her first term in office. She wants to raise taxes on billionaires and on corporations. And she wants to make sure that a person working one job can afford to live in this country. So let's keep moving forward. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Move forward for a better day for you and me. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. We are not going back. Let's stand for democracy. One more time, everybody sing along. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Move forward for a better day for you and me. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. Let's do the Kamala Harris waltz. We are not going back. Let's stand for democracy. We are not going back. Let's stand for democracy. Peace and love.